What's up? What's up? I have taken a big break from making videos for the past almost a year now. And so I'm back now, I'm better, and I have a lot of things that I want to share, talk about, and just give advice on. And so I'm in Bogota, Colombia right now, really enjoying it here, and I want you to kind of talk about why I focus on buying and selling businesses how I got started in it, why I love it, everything about that, and in the full picture of things, learning how to buy and sell businesses changed my life. And it wasn't always this way, you know? Like back in high school, I was not the guy that was into business. I wasn't the guy that was into money, anything like that. You know, I loved to work out in high school. I played a ton of games with friends. Business never crossed my mind back then. Went to college, uh, hated it, but dropped out. And from that point on, I committed myself to just figuring out life. Like, how can I make money? How can I do this without college? Especially when everyone tells you that you need college to succeed. I had to prove them wrong. And I got into e-commerce, for dropshipping. I started a marketing agency. And that agency is what really started to change my life. I started working with clients across the country. I had the opportunity to start traveling. I got to experience new things. Got to see what wealth looked like from people that, because at the time I was 19, and so I was hanging around people that were late 20s, late 30s, late 40s, had wealth, and I was like, wow, so this is what happens when you just focus and make things happen. So from a young age, I got to learn that. In the agency world, I thought that I wanted to learn how to build a brand because I've always thought that if you wanted to have a company like Apple, like Procter and Gamble, like Nestle, if you wanted to be one of the big companies, you had to know how to build and start a company from scratch and grow it to a certain level, and then from there you are successful. Like that's what I thought. And so I was working with clients after clients, working on their marketing, on their branding, because my goal, like I said, was to build a brand myself that I could scale to be like a Procter and Gamble, like a huge company that owned other companies. And in that process, I had good clients, built good brands, did all that stuff. But I learned that these companies that I looked up to, like the Amazons, the Procter and Gambles, the Nestles, they became big businesses because they bought businesses and merged them into theirs. I thought that they started each business they had individually and grew it. But as I learned when I was younger, no. They bought those businesses and they grew them that way. And they grew their overall business that way. They're buying established, successful companies already, merging them into theirs. From there, they begin to grow their acquisition. Once I learned that, I knew that a marketing agency wasn't going to help me achieve anything that I wanted to achieve. And I knew that I had to learn the game of buying businesses as soon as possible. And that's what really got me on this journey. And I was very blessed and grateful to have met my current partner, Ace Chapman, right now. He really taught me everything that I know today. And after the agency, all that stuff, I started working with him. I began to help clients sell their companies. So from about 19 years old to today, I've been working with clients, helping them sell their own businesses. I bought and invested in a couple myself now, and it's changed everything for me. And so, what are the things that so that's how I got into this. But now, what are the things that, like, why do I love it for? First things first is I love buying inside businesses because, one, the freedom that it gives you. The thing about doing deals is that there's thousands of companies that are already successful, already established around the world, especially in the States. And they're run by people like you and me. They have personal problems. They want to retire someday. They want to grow it to a certain level, but they don't know how to. There's all these things about these businesses. And the cool thing is that every business either has three options. It can either sell, it'll either go out of business, or it will be passed down to a person in a family. Those are the only three options. And so by being that person that can go to any business and do a deal to get equity, to get a portion of the cash flow, to help grow it, to get ownership in it, to buy it from them, it's a skill set that you learn that is rinse and repeat. And as long as there's companies in the world, as long as there's a deal to be made, being in the business of buying businesses is a business that's never gonna go away. And so I love the freedom for that, and the freedom also of I don't need to be working on the business every day. You know, like right now I'm in South America, and I'm working on our businesses from here. Like that's awesome to me. So one is the freedom. Secondly is saves you time. So when you start a business, you have to be able to build it from scratch. You got to do the systems, the marketing, the planning, the strategies. You got to do the hiring of the employees. You got to find the suppliers. You got to do everything it takes to start a successful company. And that takes years of your life away. When you're buying a business, you can do this overnight. You know, if it takes you 5 months to close on a transaction and that business is doing $1 million per year in profit, day one, you're making $1 million per year, minus of course expenses on the loan if you got a loan on it, expenses on X, Y, and Z on that side. But in general, the business is doing the same profit because it's already successful. You save time when you just buy businesses that are already cash flowing, and that's what I love about it. I believe that in life, the cool thing about buying a business is that I believe in life, we weren't brought here to just work and build and slave away to build these big companies that takes years and years of our life away. Why do that when there's already a business that's out there, that's cash flowing, that's successful, and has an owner that wants to exit? Why not learn how to buy those businesses from those people that want to actually sell their business? And now you're making that cash flow day one. You save years of your life by learning that one skill set, and that's amazing to me. And one of the last reasons right now is that it creates big businesses. And so I mentioned this before, but people believe that if you want to build a big business, it takes advertising, it takes personal branding, it takes this, it takes that, all the things that social media preaches that it takes to build a big business. But when you study Amazon's, the Teslas, any company you see on the stock market, they're growing through acquisition. 44% of the average S&P 500 company is growing through acquisition. You know, and there's a story that my partner tells all the time is that, 20 years ago, he owned a business in a shopping center, a tanning salon. His neighbor business was a bookstore. The bookstore was what bought out. Guess by who? By Amazon. 20 years ago, Amazon was purchasing other bookstores. People don't talk about this. And that's the thing that I think is important to realize is that you don't become a big business by doing small business things. You go from a small business to a big business by doing what the big businesses do. And that's learning to acquire companies and to acquire the resources that you need. And this is the mindset behind buying a business. Everything that you need in life is already in existence. It already exists. If you need new employees, new suppliers, new product lines, new service lines to be able to offer, you need X, Y, and Z, whatever your business needs, new social media platform, a bigger customer base. These things already exist in the world. You don't need to spend years to create it yourself. You go out, find who has what you need, and you acquire it. And when you're a small business trying to get to a big business, that's the mindset that it takes. Who has what I need? How can I go buy it from them? How can I do a deal with them to where I get access to that resource? It doesn't always need to be a purchase with tons of money. Sometimes you could just do this with no money down and make it happen. And that's what this is about. Buying businesses at the end of the day gives you freedom, gives you a skill set to create big businesses, and it gives you everything that you really need to succeed, and that's what it did for me. Making that video for that. Hopefully this was valuable, guys. I'll be making more of these videos. I'm back and I'm better, and thank you.